hope you're all going well. So as some of you may know, I went up to Sydney in February for a Taylor Swift concert, and while I was there I also visited the Wildlife Sydney Zoo, so I thought that I would make this video to share my great experience there. Before we get into this video, it is essential for you to know that Sydney has 3 different zoos. Wildlife Sydney Zoo, and Taronga Zoo are not the same place. When I solo travelled to Sydney last year, I took an Uber to Wildlife Sydney Zoo before realising that my booking was for Sydney Zoo, not Wildlife Sydney Zoo, which is located in the Western City Parklands, which was a really expensive Uber ride away, but definitely worth it for the capybaras. Anyways, back to Wildlife Sydney Zoo. The first enclosure you see after entering belongs to Kofi, the Goodfellows tree kangaroo, who recently turned 6 years old. I'm not sure if his name is pronounced Kofi or Kofi, so I'm sorry in advance about that. A fun fact we learned from the keeper talk is that there are actually 14 tree kangaroo species. I haven't seen many tree kangaroos throughout my life, and I just assumed that there would only be maybe 3 or 4 different species, but how cool was it that there are 14? And if you look closely, you can also see some cute little birds flying around his enclosure. Now we are entering our Taylor Swift reputation eras in a reptile section. If you are a fan of reptiles and/or amphibians, I do also have a video of the 2024 Reptile and Amphibian exhibition at the Melbourne Showgrounds, so feel free to check that out if you're interested. And if you do end up watching that video, leave a little comment saying that you are here from the Sydney video. One of my animal studies classmates was surprised when she realised that I like the reptiles on our university campus because she thought I only liked fluffy animals. Yes, I do love my fluffy babies, but just look how cool the reptiles are. I love their scales, I love the way they move, and I would love any opportunity to learn more about them. Being born and raised in Australia, I have seen plenty of zoos and sanctuaries with Tasmanian devils, but most of the time they were either hiding or sleeping, so I feel really grateful to be able to see these little cuties out and about. According to the Wildlife Sydney Zoo website, the Tasmanian devil is endangered due to a 90% population decline over the last 30 years. This is mostly due to contagious and fatal cancer called the devil facial tumour disease. Fortunately, the Wildlife Sydney Zoo is one of the multiple conservation programs that help preserve the future populations and habitats of the Tasmanian devils. Here is the third tallest bird in the world, the southern cassowary. Despite being a male, the one here at Wildlife Sydney Zoo is actually named Princess. And another random fun fact is that my Year 7 science teacher's nickname for me was Cassowary. Even until she left the school when I was in Year 9, she always called me Cassowary and never Cassie. I would like to apologise for the video quality here. I'm not the best at shooting photos or videos in the dark, but the animals at the zoo's nightfall habitat are absolutely adorable. I don't like to pick favourites among animals, but I spent so much time at the rat kangaroo exhibit trying to get good photos and videos of these cute tiny babies. According to Wildlife Sydney Zoo website, they are not morning people, and if awoken too early, they'll make pig-like growling noises, so I have more in common with them than I expected. I spent so much time there that my friends went to at least 2 other exhibits by the time I finally decided to move on, so I would like to say a huge thank you to Olivia and Josh for your patience with me at the zoo. If you are a fan of spiders, please give this video a like and subscribe out of sympathy because I have arachnophobia and it took all my strength to take these photos without passing out or running all the way back to Melbourne. Yes, I was born and raised in Australia. Yes, I have seen countless koalas in the wildlife and in captivity, but I can never get over how cute they are. Even if they are just staying completely still or just sleeping, I still admire them for how adorable they are. And just like the Tasmanian devils, I always feel very blessed when I'm able to capture moments where they are active instead of sleeping. And finally, the last section of the zoo consisted of creatures under the sea. I think this is because we are approaching the borders between the zoo and the aquarium, but I'm not completely sure about that. My favourite section here was the starfish, because it was interesting to see how many different colours and textures there are. And here we have the penguins, one of the most popular attractions at the zoo. If you're a fan of penguins, sea life, or animals in general, stay tuned for the Wildlife Sydney Aquarium video. And finally, right before the exit, there was a little section where we were allowed to touch sea urchins, seashells, starfish, and other little creatures under the sea. So that brings us to the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please feel free to comment what your favourite animals are and whether you have travelled to Sydney before. And yeah, stay tuned for the Wildlife Sydney Aquarium video. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day.